Welcome to Markets Today. I'm your host, Mbithe Mwema. It's the second day of trading this week, being Tuesday, the 12th of May. I will be giving you an overview of what's happening on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, as well as top corporate news that you need to be aware of as you make your investment decisions this week. Later on in the show, we will be joined via video by Shiv Arora. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Cytonn Investments, and he will be able to take us through what's happening in the fund management space, what are the regulatory concerns or risks at this point in time as the government of Kenya finds ways to be able to raise taxes from new forums. And he'll also be giving us an overview of their assets under management and just giving us an update on what's happening on their end. But before we go there, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. The Nairobi Securities Exchange opened the week at a very low note. Turnover was down 17.7% over the day. It closed at 531 million shillings worth of stocks that were traded. Interesting moves we saw yesterday was Safaricom lose a bit of ground. It was the top mover by volume. However, the price did see a mild correction to the 28.3 shillings per share level. Kenya Airways was the largest gainer for the day, closing up 9.6% to 1.39 shillings per share. What was interesting about Kenya Airways is there was absolutely no supply in the market. The bids were extremely high and we only saw about 35,000 shares trade over the day. There has been a lot of speculative and retail activity on this particular counter, with the counter hitting a low of 0.86 shillings per share over the last 2 weeks. We've seen a lot of retail buy-in and a lot of speculative activity, and the sense that we are getting from the people who are investing is this: the government will not let it go down. So the question is, if you're investing in this particular stock, is it more of a speculative activity or is it an actual investment? Because it's a bit worrisome when you're trying to figure out when will the aviation industry be able to generate revenues, because you cannot run a sustainable business by relying on government handouts from a government that doesn't have any money. So for me, I'm very cautious about it, but there's some people who've been able to make a good return. We will keep you updated if anything material comes out of this stock. Now, over and above that, we are looking at investments and looking at different classes. Today, we are joined by Shiv Arora, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Cytonn. What we are trying to understand is this: we're in a space where COVID has happened, and COVID has made the situation in as far as the government finances magnanimous. In other words, the fiscal deficit that the government is operating with is now much higher, largely because of COVID. That said, a couple of measures are being proposed by Treasury as well as the Retirement Benefits Authority that could affect your investment if you're in this industry. I welcome Shiv Arora to the show, and he can walk us through any updates as well as what his sentiments are for the particular investment classes. Welcome to the show, Shiv. Okay, fantastic. Maybe you can walk us through what is happening in your world. How has COVID made your world look like?
Okay, thanks once again and really appreciate it. COVID is obviously one of the most challenging environments we have witnessed in our economy in a very, very real estate developer. At the start of the year, what their greatest challenges were, no one would have actually thought that it would actually be COVID. In terms of the real estate sector, which is where Cytonn has a huge focus, it's been challenging given had to reduce construction activity, which we are seeing throughout the economy, given the government regulations with regards to social distancing, which means any sublease to be registered or property to be transferred. So there's been a decline.
Still hear me? I think I've lost you there. Quick break and we will be back shortly.